Just as a forewarning, this video will likely contain spoilers for the Primitive War movie and also the Primitive War books, though I will try to keep them on the down low. Highly recommend you go watch the movie and that you read the books, especially if you're a fan of dinosaur horror and action. Great crack. Primitive War 2 has just been announced, with Luke Spark returning to direct this feature. And because it has been announced that this film will be based off of the Primitive War Dispatches Volume 1, which kind of acted like a book 1.5 between Primitive War and Primitive War 2 Animus Infernal. I only recently got to watch the first film myself, as I only recently came on streaming here in Ireland, and let me tell you, I'm a huge fan. It is extremely fun, just kind of a kind of callback to old action films with a little bit of horror thrown in there. And yeah, the dinosaurs look fantastic. I mean, considering this was made on a shoestring budget, they really got a lot out of the special effects. And there are a lot of dinosaurs in this film, and they all look really good. And of course, gets us wondering, what dinosaurs or prehistoric creatures are going to be making an appearance in the second film? One animal I definitely think will be returning is, of course, the Tyrannosaurus Rex. And yeah, like you, Reggie. And along with that, well, T-Rex such a superstar, you know, and played a big part in the first film. I think that's a fairly safe bet. But of course, an even safer bet will be the Yutyraptors. Yutyraptors kind of acts as the main antagonistic force on the dinosaur side of things throughout the books. Whereas in the first film and the first book, we had Cyclops, which was the Yutyraptor with that kind of trademark knife jabbed in his eye. Oh, sorry, Reggie. In the second book, we had a very cool Yutyraptor by the name of Sobek. Sobek was very easily identifiable by basically the crown of teeth that were jammed in his skull. And these teeth came from an animal called Kaprosuchus. Now, Kaprosuchus did feature in the first book, however, it unfortunately did not make it into the film, instead being replaced by the Spinosaurus, which I'm not complaining about. I'm a big Spinosaurus fan. However, I'm sincerely hoping, especially with how much it relates to the main antagonist dinosaur of the book, that we get to see Kaprosuchus in this movie. Kaprosuchus is nicknamed the Boar Croc, and with these huge tusk-like teeth, it's fairly easy to see how it got this name. And I am a huge fan of this animal. It is one of my favorite prehistoric animals. In fact, my own book, Bygone Dawn, or at least my first book, I actually based the main character creature on a Kaprosuchus with some unique traits that kind of to suit the setting of the book. And I'm really hoping we get to see these creatures in this one, because they are very cool. They had very cool scenes in the first book, and hopefully we might see some of those translated to this movie, including hopefully a battle between Yutyraptors and Kaprosuchus, maybe to show how Sobek got his trademark crown, so to speak. Crowned him as the Alpha Yutyraptor of book 2, or 1.5, whichever one. There are a few other creatures that make an appearance in the Dispatches books that I would love to see, and these creatures only kind of have small parts in the books, but they are really cool. These include the likes of the Cryolophosaurus and the Therizinosaurus. Both of these absolutely beautiful dinosaurs. I love this artwork that was created for them there, that you can find actually in the Primitive War Bestiary. Another great book you should pick up if you are a fan of the series. However, one particular predator that I would love to see make an appearance in this movie is the Yutyrannus. This is a creature exclusive to the Primitive War Dispatches book, and as an animal that we haven't really seen much depictions of either in documentaries or in movies, with a little bit in video games admittedly, it would be great to see them make an appearance here, and they've got a very cool and terrifying role in the books. Yutyrannus was a fascinating prehistoric animal, as it was one of the first fossils that indicated the evidence of feathers in a large dinosaur. Not only that, but this dinosaur also sits within the family Tyrannosauroideae, making it a relative of Tyrannosaurus Rex itself. Yes, your long lost and much more feathery relative, Reggie. And these feathers actually play a pretty crucial role to their hunting strategy in the books. You see, Yutyrannus often seek out animals like Yutyraptor to try and remove competition, hunting the would-be predators. However, they have a couple of adaptations that help give them an edge over these deadly hunters, one of which are their feathers. In the books, their feathers are generally an iridescent, beautiful green plumage. However, depending on the lighting, these feathers can turn jet black as well, acting as fantastic camouflage, especially at night when these animals like to hunt. Not only that, but the feathers actually act to help trap the scent of the Yutyrannus, meaning that other animals like the Yutyraptors or other dinosaurs in the valley can't as easily detect them, making them extremely stealthy and deadly killers. And I think this is great material to add into this film that could really help ramp up that horror atmosphere outside of just the gore. But I'd be happy to see any of these creatures or any others they want to add to Primitive War 2. I was a big fan of the first film. I'm really looking forward to seeing what they do with this one. I hope that due to the success of the first one, they get an even bigger budget this time, and we might be even got. As I said, they did really well with the budget on the first one, so if they get a little bit more, I'd be very excited to see what they can do. But yeah, I can't wait to see it, and I'm sure it's going to be good crack.